topic is viscosity. What is viscosity? It is a friction of fluid. It is a frictional forces of fluid property of fluids. Viscosity. It is a frictional forces of fluid property of fluids. What are fluids? Liquids and gases are fluids. So, consider a fluid. That fluid is in streamline and turbulent forces. Streamline flow. Suppose the particles we take particles A, B, C, D. Particles in flow is in same direction. That flow is called streamline flow. Streamline flow means the path traced out by the molecules of the fluid comes along the tube is called streamline flow. The properties like density, pressure, velocity remains constant at every point. That flow is called streamline flow. And the particles maintain in the order. The particles maintain in the order and cross any point with the same speed is called streamline flow. Streamline flow means steady flow. So, what is streamline flow? The particles maintain order and cross any point with same speed is called streamline flow. Next, turbulent flow. Turbulent means we take particles A, B, C, D, E. In turbulent motion, the particles do not follow the series of order and overtake with each other. Suppose A, C, B, E, D. Zigzag motion lo untayi anamata particles anni kuda. Turbulent flow means the particles do not maintain their series order and overtake each other. That flow is called turbulent flow. Fluid means liquids and gases are called fluids. We take a fluid. Fluid is in streamline motion and in turbulent motion. Streamline motion means the particles maintain the order and cross any point with the same speed. The properties like density, velocity, pressure is constant. Turbulent fluid. The particles do not maintain their series order and overtake each other. That motion is called, that fluid is called turbulent fluid. ఇక ఇక్కడ విస్కాసిటీ అన్నప్పుడు ఏమని చెప్పారు? ఇట్ ఈస్ ఏ ఫ్రిక్షనల్ ఫోర్సెస్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లూయిడ్ ప్రాపర్టీ ఆఫ్ లిక్విడ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లూయిడ్స్. Frictional forces. Suppose in solids we take a block is on the surface. When force is applied, what happened? The block is moved in this direction. The frictional force, friction on block this side, friction on table this side. That is in solids. In solids, frictional forces is in kinetic friction and static friction. Static friction when force is applied. Kinetic friction depends upon the area of contact. So solid flow does not behave the velocity and area of contact. But in fluids, this is a rubber bed. This is rubber bed. The velocity of the fluid, the upper layer of the velocity 10 meter per second we take. Next another 9 meter per second. Next another 8 meter per second. Next another 7 meter per second. 6 meter per second. 5 meter per second. So this set 0. And the river bed velocity is 0. And we take water level, observed what happened. The velocity in upper portion increases and the lower portion is decreases the velocity. So the different layers have, and in a liquid, the underflow, the layers have different speeds. The layer near the surface has 0 velocity and the layer away from the surface has larger velocity. We take honey and water. Water has high flow. Honey has low flow. Low flow means high viscosity. High flow means low viscosity. We take a glass of honey and we take glass of water in another beaker. What happened when spoon is we take a spoon and dissolved in the water and honey. What happened? మీరు స్పూన్తో తిప్పుతున్నారనుకోండి, ఏం జరుగుతుంది? హనీలో మన స్పూన్ పెట్టి తిప్పుతున్నప్పుడు అది లేయర్స్ కింద వాటి మధ్యన ఉండేటటువంటి ఫ్రిక్షనల్ ఫోర్సెస్ అనేవి తక్కువగా కనిపిస్తాయి కంపారిటివ్లీ విత్ వాటర్. అంటే వాటర్కి వచ్చేసరికి లేయర్కి మధ్యన ఉండేటటువంటి ఫ్రిక్షనల్ ఫోర్సెస్ ఎక్కువగా కనిపిస్తాయి. సో అందు గురించి వాటర్లో హై ఫ్లో ఉంటుంది, వాటర్ ఎక్కువ స్పీడ్గా రొటేట్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. హనీ తీసుకుంటున్నప్పుడు ఫ్లో అనేది చాలా తక్కువగా కనిపిస్తుంది మనకి. మనది స్పూన్తో తిప్పుతూ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఫ్లో అనేది బాగా తక్కువగా అనిపిస్తుంది. సో ఈ రెండింటిలోనూ కంపేర్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు దేనికి ఎక్కువ విస్కాసిటీ ఉంటుందంటే హనీకి ఎక్కువ విస్కాసిటీ ఉంటుంది, వాటర్కి లో విస్కాసిటీ ఉంటుంది. అదేవిధంగా టూత్ పేస్ట్ తీసుకోండి. టూత్ పేస్ట్ అనేది ఒక సాస్ లా ఉంటుంది మనకి. ఆ పేస్ట్లో కూడా విస్కాసిటీ అనేది హై విస్కాసిటీ కలిగి ఉంటుంది. అంటే విస్కాసిటీ in liquids due to cohesive forces between the surface of the molecules, surface of the layers. మరి గ్యాస్ మాలిక్యూల్స్కి వచ్చేసరికి అందులో పార్టికల్స్ అనేవి కొలిషన్ జరుగుతాయి. గ్యాస్ మాలిక్యూల్స్ Viscosity in gas molecules due to collision between the particles and transfer momentum. So, here viscosity అనేటప్పటికి the property of the liquids by virtue of which it opposes relative motion of the layers is called viscosity. Viscosity means మనకి ఎనీ టూ లేయర్స్ మధ్యన ఈ టూ లేయర్స్ తీసుకున్నాం, ఈ టూ లేయర్స్ కానీ టూ లేయర్స్ కానీ ఎనీ టూ లేయర్స్ మధ్యన రిలేటివ్ మోషన్ కనుక ఉన్నట్లయితే దాన్ని ఏమంటామంటే విస్కాసిటీ. వాట్ ఈస్ విస్కాసిటీ? ద ప్రాపర్టీ ఆఫ్ ది ఫ్లూయిడ్స్ by virtue of which it opposes the relative motion between the layers is called viscosity. In viscosity, the fluid, in a fluid, the underflow the layer have different speeds. The layer near the surface has zero velocity and the layer away from the surface has high velocity. That is viscosity. Next, velocity gradient. Velocity gradient means this is river bed. River bed has zero velocity. Velocity gradient means the change in velocity by height. Change in velocity by height. What is the change in velocity between two layers? 1 meter per second. What is the depth? 2 meters depth అని కలిగి ఉందనుకోండి. Velocity gradient ఏమవుతుంది? 1/2 అంటే 0.5. అంటే velocity gradient means dV by dx. The velocity is the relative motion of the two layers. Velocity is dV. We take dV. And the depth of the water, we take dx. So, it is noted by dV by dx. dV by dx is equal to, what is the value? 0.5. What are its units? It is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. Units are velocity units meter per second and distance meter. And meter by meter second. Meter cancel. Second inverse. What is velocity gradient? The change in velocity by height. So, the river bed velocity is 0. So, the difference between the relative motion of two layers is equal to 1 meter per second. 1 by the depth of the water is equal to 2. So, what is the value? 0.5. dV by dx is a vector quantity. Units is second inverse. Viscosity. Ideal fluid. We take ideal fluid. Viscosity is 0. Viscosity is 0. No viscosity. Force. Viscosity means the relative motion of layers. A relative motion of layers మధ్యన frictional forces మనం గమనిస్తూ ఉన్నట్లయితే the relative motion of the frictional forces is directly proportional to velocity gradient and area of contact of the fluids. F is proportional to A into dV by dx. F is equal to proportionality లోంచి ఈక్వాలిటీ లోకి తీసుకుని వస్తే సమ్ కాన్స్టెంట్ కావాలి. ఆ కాన్స్టెంట్ ఇంటూ dV by dx. Viscosity, coefficient of eta is equal to coefficient of viscosity or coefficient of dynamic viscosity అని కూడా అంటారు. F is equal to F by A into dV by dx. దీన్నే F by A by dV by dx. The ratio between shearing stress and the velocity, shearing stress to the velocity gradient is called coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity అనేది F అనేది మనం తీసుకునేటప్పుడు ఇక్కడ నెగిటివ్గా కూడా చూపిస్తాము. అంటే ఈ విస్కస్ ఫోర్సెస్కి ఫ్రిక్షనల్ ఫోర్స్ అనేది ఆపోజిట్ డైరెక్షన్లో జరుగుతుంది ఇక్కడ. సో మైనస్గా కూడా రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాం. యూనిట్స్, డైమెన్షనల్ ఫార్ములా. సో కోఎఫిషియంట్ ఆఫ్ విస్కాసిటీ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఈటా. Eta is equal to F by A into dV by dx. Dimensional formula. What are the units of F? ml t power minus 2 by L square. Velocity dV by dx. L t power minus 2 by L cancel. T power minus 2. L t power minus 2. T power minus 2. L cancel. ml power minus 1 t power minus 2 plus 1 ml power minus 1 t power minus 1. What are its units? Coefficient of viscosity is equal to force ml t power minus 2 by area L square into dV by dx. dV by dx అంటే velocity units L t power, dimensional formula L t power minus 1 by L. L cancel. ఏమొచ్చింది? t power minus. Units. Newton by meter square into dV by dx. Meter second power minus 1 by meter. Meter cancel. Newton second per meter square in Cgs system. What about Cgs system? In Cgs, dyne second power centimeter square or poise. Poisson name తో దీనికి యూనిట్ ఏమని డిక్లేర్ చేశారు? poise. This is a Cgs system. So The frictional forces between layers is directly proportional to velocity gradient and area of contact of liquid layers. So what is the formula? F is proportional to A into dV by dx. F is equal to eta into A into dV by dx. This eta is called coefficient of viscosity, the coefficient of dynamic viscosity is equal to F by A into dV by dx. Dimensional form. So, definition. The ratio between shearing stress and the velocity gradient is called viscosity. Dimensional formula. ml power minus 1, T power minus 1. Units. Newton second power meter square. Adhe Cgs lo dyne second power centimeter square. Adhe poise and 1 poise is equal to 10 power minus 1 Newton second per meter square. 1 Newton second meter square is equal to 10 poise. This is a bit important. Poise value enta 10 power minus 1 Newton second power meter square. Force అనేది ఎప్పుడు విస్కాసిటీకి ఆపోజిట్ డైరెక్షన్ లో ఉంటుంది. నెక్స్ట్ condition. When A is equal to 1 meter square, velocity gradient dV by dx is equal to 1 second. 1 second inverse. అప్పుడేం జరుగుతుంది అంటే the coefficient of viscosity is equal to the frictional force per unit area on the liquid layers which creates the force on it. సో ఇక్కడ ఏమని చెప్తోంది, ఎప్పుడైతే ఏరియా వాల్యూ 1 మీటర్ స్క్వేర్ అయ్యి dV బై dx is equal to 1 second inverse అయింది అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు ఫ్రిక్షన్ కోఎఫిషియంట్ ఆఫ్ విస్కాసిటీ is equal to ఫ్రిక్షనల్ ఫోర్స్. అంటే దీన్ని ఏమని చెప్తాము, ది కోఎఫిషియంట్ ఆఫ్ విస్కాసిటీ is equal to the frictional force per unit area on the liquid layers which creates velocity gradient on 1 unit. Velocity gradient 1 second. So that is, and dV by dx value 1 second ayi area value 1 meter square అయింది అనుకో, అప్పుడు దేనికి ఈక్వల్ అవుతుంది, కోఎఫిషియంట్ ఆఫ్ విస్కాసిటీ ఫ్రిక్షనల్ ఫోర్స్ కి ఈక్వల్ అవుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ viscosity. Temperature increases, viscosity decreases. In liquids, the temperature increases, viscosity decreases because the cohesive forces between the molecules decreases with increase in temperature. In gases, the temperature increases with increase in viscosity because the gas molecules, the collision between the gas molecules increases with temperature. Liquids, temperature increases, viscosity decreases because cohesive forces. In gases, temperature increases, viscosity increases. Because molecules, collision of molecules. Next, viscosity changes from different fluids have different viscosity values. Castor oil has viscosity different and water has viscosity different, and different fluids have different viscosity values. మనం తీసుకునేటటువంటి ఫ్లూయిడ్ లో ఎక్కడైతే ఎక్కువ దాని యొక్క నేచర్లో జిడ్డుగా అనిపిస్తుందో దానికి విస్కాసిటీ వాల్యూస్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతూ ఉంటాయి. వాటరు, కోకోనట్ ఆయిల్, క్యాస్టర్ ఆయిల్ ఇలా డిఫరెంట్ ఫ్లూయిడ్స్ని కనుక మనం తీసుకున్నట్లయితే ఈ ఫ్లూయిడ్స్ అన్నింటిలోనూ వేరే వేరే ఫ్లూయిడ్స్కి వేరే వేరే విస్కాసిటీ వాల్యూస్ అనేవి ఉండడం జరుగుతుంది. Viscosity different from different for different fluids. Viscosity value is different for different fluids. Next. Sixth sum, a square plate of 10 centimeter side moves parallel to another plate with a velocity 10 centimeter per second. Both plates immersed in water. If the viscous force is 200 dyne and viscosity of water is 0.01 poise. What is the distance apart? What is the distance apart? So all the units are in Cgs system. Square plate and a side 10 centimeters ఇచ్చారు. Area is equal to side into side 10 into 10 100 centimeter square. Next, another plate with a velocity of dv is equal to 10 centimeter per second ఇచ్చారు. Next అలాగే if the viscous force F is equal to 200 dynes, viscosity of water is equal to 0.01 poise. ఏం అడుగుతున్నారు? వాట్ ఈస్ ద డిస్టెన్స్, డిఎక్స్ వాల్యూ హౌ మచ్ అని అడుగుతున్నారు. సో మనకు తెలుసున్న ఫార్ములా ఏంటి? ఎఫ్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఏ ఇంటూ డివి బై డిఎక్స్. dx is equal to viscosity area and dV by F. What is the value of viscosity? 0.01. What is the value of area? 100. dV value 10. By what is the value of F? 200. 1 by 100 into 10 into 1 by 2. Point 02 meter. Zero point 5 into 10 power minus 1 into 5. 0.05 centimeter. 0.5 centimeter. Next. A metal plate 0.02 meter square in area is lying on a liquid layer of thickness 10 power minus 3 meter and coefficient of viscosity of 12 decapoise. Calculate the horizontal force required to move the plate with a speed of 0.025 meter per second. So, what are the values given? A is equal to 0.02 meter square. Lying on a liquid layer of thickness, dx is equal to 10 power minus 3 meter. Coefficient of viscosity is equal to 12 decapoise. Deca means multiplication factor 10 power 1. Poise. Decapoise. One poise is equal to 10 power minus 1. Newton second per meter square. So, calculate the horizontal force required to move the plate with a speed of force. Speed dV is equal to 0.025 meter per second. What is the formula? F is equal to coefficient of viscosity into area of contact of layers and velocity gradient. So 12 into 0.02 into dV by dx 0.025 by 10 power minus 12 into 2 by 100 to 25 by 1000 into 10 50 50 12s are 60. Force gravity unit 6 Newton. Next another question. A river water is flowing at 5 meter per second. The depth of river water is ఇక్కడ some wrong ఉంది 10 meters అని మార్చుకున్నాము. Water is 10 meter. What is shearing stress between horizontal layers of the river water? Eta value 1 millidecapoise. 1 millidecapoise. Units are in Cgs system. So 10 power minus 3. Deca means 10 power 1. Poise means 10 power minus 1 Newton second per meter square. So cancel. 10 power minus 3. A river water is flowing. dV is equal to 5 meter per second. River water is, depth of river water is 10 meters. So, shearing stress F by A is equal to dV by dx. Shearing stress and force per area. 10 power minus 3 into 5 by 10. 0.5 into 10 power minus 3 Newton per meter square. Next another question. A metal plate of area 5 into 10 power minus 4 meter square is placed on a 5 into 10 power minus 4 meter thick castor oil layer. Castor oil layer. If a force of 2.25 Newton is needed to move the plate with a velocity 3 into 10 power minus 2 meter per second inverse. Then the coefficient of castor oil is so area is equal to 5 into 10 power minus 4 meter square. Dx is equal to 5 into 10 power minus 4 meter. Force F is equal to 2.25 Newton. Velocity dv is equal to 3 into 10 power minus 2 meter per second. Coefficient of viscosity is how much? So, coefficient of viscosity is equal to F is equal to F by A into dV by dx. What is the value of F? 2.25. What is the value of area? 5 into 10 power minus 4 into dV. 3 into 10 power minus 2 by dx. 5 into 10 power minus 4. 225 by 3 into 10 square. Three sevens are 3 fives are 25 25 fours are 25 threes are 300 by 4. 75 decapoise. 75 decapoise. 11th sum. A plate of area 100 centimeter square is placed on the upper surface of castor oil 2 millimeter thick. 2 millimeter thick. Taking the coefficient of viscosity to be 15.5 poise. Calculate the horizontal for necessary To move the plate with a velocity 3 centimeter per second. A plate of area. What is the area? A is equal to 100 centimeter square. What are the units? All are in Cgs system. So, upper surface. On the upper surface of castor oil, 2 millimeter thickness. dx is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 3 meter. And 0.2 into centimeter. Next, viscosity 15.5 poise. dV is equal to 3 centimeter per second. Horizontal for necessary to move. F is equal to how much? F is equal to A into dV by dx. What is the value? 1.5. అంటే dV యాక్చువల్గా V2 minus V1 by x2 minus x1 గా తీసుకుంటాం. మైనస్ x1 అంటే 0 minus 3 by x2 minus x 0.2. What is the value? 100 into dV 3 by 0.2. Two 25 G. 2250 into 10 power 5 by 10 power 5. అంటే 0. One Newton is equal to 10 power 5. Force kada, the dynes, one dyne 10 power 5 dynes is equal to 1 Newton. Sorry, 15.5 poison. 15.5 poison. 155 by 10. 155 into 50. And 2325. Next, 13th sum. The velocity of water in a river is 18 kilometer per hour. 18 kilometer per hour near the surface. If the river is 5 meters deep, find the shearing stress between the horizontal layers of water. Coefficient of viscosity of water is equal to 10 power minus 2 points. So, shearing stress. What are the values given? dV is equal to 18 kilometer per hour. Kilometer per hours ni meter per seconds log mariste 18 into 5 by 18. 5 meter per second. Next, dx is equal to 5 meters. Coefficient of viscosity 10 power minus 2 points. Shearing stress F by A is equal to how much? F by A is equal to dV by dx. What is the value of coefficient of viscosity? 10 power minus 2. 5 by 5. 10 power minus 2 Newton per meter square. Last sum. A glass plate of dimension, 14th question. A glass plate of dimension 0.3 meter into 0.1 meter is placed. The area is equal to 0.3 into 0.1 meter square. Table on which there is layer of an oil of thickness dx is equal to 1 into 10 power minus 4 meter. The viscosity of the oil is 0.5 Newton second per meter square. Then the force required to draw the plate horizontally with a velocity of 5 meter per second. Force F is equal to A into dV by dx. 0.5 into 0.3 into 0.1 into dV by dx. 5 by 1 into 10 power minus 4. 5 by 10, 3 by 10, 1 by 10 into 5 into 10 power 4. 75 into 10. 750. The lesson కి సంబంధించి viscosity చెప్పాను కదా, the property of the liquid by virtue of which it opposes the relative motion of layers is called viscosity. Viscosity changes from different liquids have different viscosity values. In viscosity, temperature increases, viscosity decreases because of cohesive forces of the molecules. Next, temperature increases, viscosity increases in gases because of molecules collision in gas molecules to transfer momentum. That is నెక్స్ట్ అలాగే మనం సీ వాటర్ని అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తున్నట్లయితే వేవ్స్ వస్తూ ఉంటాయి. ఒక వేవ్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత నెక్స్ట్ వేవ్ వస్తూ ఉంటుంది సైడ్ వైజ్. సో ఇది కూడా ఏంటి విస్కస్ ఫోర్సెస్ వల్ల మాత్రమే జరుగుతుంది. ఇది లెసన్కి సంబంధించి.